far as failure planning goes, which kind of sounds weird, but basically what you're doing is you're looking at situations where you could fail and you make a plan. So athletes will do this all the time. My son actually works with a sports psychologist, and so he will look at a situation before it even happens, because not everything always goes perfectly in a baseball game as a pitcher. And it's like, okay, what am I going to do when I've walked 2 or 3 batters, bases are loaded, and the next batter is up to bat? Am I just going to like lose it mentally, or how am I going to act in that situation? And so that's what we need to do with our situations in life that trigger us to eat. So just look at how you normally respond, or situations that are more difficult, and then you actually think about how you're going to respond and you commit to that. So for me, for example, I used to struggle in group settings because I'm a very social person, and so I would go to the party and think, okay, everyone's looking at me, and which wasn't true, but that was something that I had to overcome. And I didn't want to be rude and not eat what they were serving. But nobody cares. Nobody's watching. It's usually like a big event and it's like buffet style and no one cares. And if you're going out to eat, if someone's looking at what's on your plate, that's their problem. So it's really important to have positive self-talk. And here's some of the affirmations or things that I will say when I'm in a more difficult situation. So the first one is not my food. And I got that one from Susan Pierce Thompson. It's just a non-judgmental way of saying they choose to eat that, I choose to eat this. That's not my food. Eyes on my own plate. That's another one I got from Susan Pierce Thompson. That's another way of, what you eat is your business. What I eat is my business. And I've used that at a family dinner one time. Everyone was looking at my plate and they're like, are you, keto, which I'm not keto, but I was just doing the best I could with what was available. I loaded my plate up with vegetables and had some meat, and I think I had a little bit of fruit too, which is not keto, but
Side note, some fruit is allowed on keto.
Anyway, they're like asking me all these questions, and I was just joking around, and I'm like, eyes on your own plate, and everyone was laughing, and we moved on. But really, just eyes on your own plate. Other things, affirmations that have been powerful for me is just to reiterate to myself that I have a choice. I choose wellness. I choose joy, versus sitting there thinking, oh, I really want that brownie, or I really want that piece of pizza, whatever it is. Instead of that, this is what I'm choosing, and this is what I really want. All right, so as far as failure planning goes, if I'm going to a social situation, I have a plan in advance. And my plan is that, and in the beginning, this was huge for me. The more you do it, it just becomes automatic and it's not even a big deal. It's very uncomfortable in the beginning, but then what used to be uncomfortable becomes the new norm, and it's not even a big deal. So before going into a family situation, I would text my accountability partner and just say, hey, I'm headed to a family party. There's going to be a lot of not my food there, and I'm not going to eat it. I'm going to make good choices. I'm actually going to bring the salad, and I'll report back to you at the end of the night. And then that way, even if she doesn't respond right away, I know that she cares and she's going to celebrate with me when I overcome that. So every time that behavior creates your new identity. So every time that you actually behave in alignment with your new future self, then your confidence grows. And that's really what we're after, is growing our confidence. And that's what gets results too. Something else that you can do. So when I'm actually at the situation, those are the affirmations that I say in my mind that I talked about. And then, I just, in my mind beforehand, I think, okay, if someone offers me something, I just say, no, I'm good. That's something that I say all the time. No, I'm good. Thanks though. It's not offensive to say that. I had to overcome that and realize that people are not going to be offended. If they do ask, just say, well, I'm I'm really trying to watch my insulin levels and my inflammation, or have something prepared with what you're going to say, or just say, you know what, I'm not eating sugar or processed food right now. It's for health reasons. And people should respect that. As far as becoming triggered and responding, I've had ladies tell me that it's super helpful to journal and just take a minute to think of, okay, why do I want to eat that? And just journal about it, your feelings. Again, it's really cheap therapy. Journaling is really cheap therapy. And then you have a resolution or an action moving forward. And journaling, again, is a powerful form of meditation. And so you're actually affirming to your mind what you're going to do. And I've had several clients tell me that is very powerful for them when they're in a difficult situation, is just to journal. Another thing you can do is just like go for a walk, or go for a walk and say a prayer. There's actually been studies done showing how powerful prayer is for willpower. The most powerful thing you can do is connect with someone. So with your accountability partner, again, you would reach out and just say, hey, I'm sitting here, there's like all this food in my face, but I'm not going to eat it. Just wanted to let you know. And then check in later in the night. I've done this when I've had to pick up pizza for my kids and it was a half-hour drive and I was hungry. I actually called my friend and I'm like, I'm hungry right now and there's this pizza, and she like talked me down off the ledge. You know, ideally we wouldn't set ourselves up for that. Like I wouldn't have picked the pizza up in the first place. But for me, like I'm still gonna do that for my kids occasionally. I just have another plan in place. So with that situation, I had the pizza, but I also got some marinara. And then I went home and I made myself some zoodles and put marinara and all my favorite pizza toppings. And it was delicious and I didn't feel deprived. And I saved myself from going off track, and I gained a ton of confidence moving forward that I can totally conquer a situation like that again. So that's what you get when you actually follow through on your plan. Other things you can do, I talked about walking, you can stretch, anything to get your mind off of it. You can also use aromatherapy. That's a great way. It's actually called a neural pathway disruptor. Basically, you're just disrupting the thoughts in your brain. So I've shared peppermint beadlets with a lot of my clients. You can just keep those in your purse. The thing about peppermint, one of the ladies I worked with, she's like, once I had peppermint in my mouth, I couldn't think about anything else because it's so strong. So you could pop a peppermint beadlet in your mouth, or you could put a drop on your tongue. It's actually works as a appetite suppressant, but you put peppermint in your mouth and it's like, woo, strong. It opens up your airways and you're not thinking about food or whatever anymore. And then it also acts as an appetite suppressant. So that's something else you can do in the moment. Your action plan for this video is to look at your life, be honest with yourself, and think, okay, what triggers me to eat off plan? And then I want you to actually create an action plan for those moments. Failure planning. You want to plan for the times where you could possibly fail. This is what works. If you don't, honestly, it kind of comes down to two things. It comes down to the accountability, and then it comes down to failure planning. Planning for the times where you could fail so that you don't fail. If you don't plan for those times, then it's up to willpower, and we all know what happens when you rely on willpower. Willpower doesn't work. So make sure that you come up with an action plan and share it with your accountability coach, accountability partner, mentor, whoever, but make sure you share it and that you hold yourself accountable to that plan. And then once you execute that plan, you will have so much confidence moving forward and think, okay, this is not a big deal. I can totally do this. And that's where you get results. And that's what we want. We want to work towards our future self. Your future self will thank you.